This lesson will talk about the Zambian legal system. We'll talk about what a legal system is. We'll first of all define law. We'll also talk about the elements of a good legal system briefly. Then in the next one, we can touch base on the sources of law. So what is law? Law is a set of rules that regulate human behavior in society. And these rules are developed by the society itself. They act as the guidelines that determine the behavior of individuals in that particular society. Law is important because it is law that shapes the social, economic, and political life of a nation. But what happens to those who break the law? What happens? Well, those who do not abide by these rules are obviously punished, while those who are wronged are compensated or paid. So that picture there shows you what happens to wrongdoers who are found on the wrong side of the law. They are actually punished. But the essence of law itself is to make sure that freedom is regulated, because freedom without boundaries leads to anarchy, total confusion and chaos. So the law allows people to have the boundaries in which they can exercise their rights and freedoms. Let's define what a legal system is. It is a set of laws that creates a standard which society develops for the purpose of promoting justice, conflict resolution, and peaceful living. It is the standard that a society uses to interpret and enforce the laws. So a legal system is simply a set standard. Why is it there? It is there to develop a system through which laws can be promoted, justice can be saved, conflict resolution, and peaceful living. That is the purpose of a legal system, and that's basically what a legal system entails. A good and effective legal system seeks to ensure social harmony and peaceful coexistence of people in a society. So it serves the members of a society fairly and justly without violating their rights. That's very important. Without a legal system, we cannot have harmony, and we cannot have peaceful coexistence of people in a society. Now, a legal system, it's important to note that a legal system of a country consists of the written or unwritten constitution, primary legislation by the parliament, bylaws, or what we also refer to as subsidiary legislation, customs or traditional practices applied by courts, and principles or practices of civil, common, or any other code of law. A legal system also consists of the institutions that promote and enforce the laws of a state. So we are talking about the judiciary and all the institutions under the judiciary, the courts of law, from the local courts, courts as prescribed, the magistrate courts, the high court, and all the other courts at the level of the high court, all the way to the Supreme Court, the Court of Appeal, and the Constitutional Court. So all of these are falling under the domain of the judiciary, and they are institutions put in place to promote and enforce the laws of a state. The Zambian police also is part of the institutions that enforce the law. And of course, we have the Zambia Correctional Services, the prison service, which are falling under the Ministry of Home Affairs. All of these institutions are part of the legal system. So if you were to summarize it, you would say a legal system is a set of laws and the institutions and principles that enforce these laws. That's the short and long of it. A legal system, a set of laws, but these laws cannot enforce themselves. There is a set standard, and this standard is set by the institutions, the principles those institutions follow in enforcing this law. That's the brief description of what a legal system is. But let's close up with the elements of a good legal system. What are the elements of a good legal system? There are 6 elements of a good legal system. The first one is that a good legal system should be simple, which means that the language that is used in the law should easily be understood by many people in society. So it shouldn't be a reserve of only the elite, a few people, or maybe that have legal understanding of legal language. Every individual should be able to understand. The second thing is that a good legal system should be flexible. That means that the law must keep up with social change. It must keep up with the current happenings of what demands for a change in the law. Then thirdly, a good legal system should be certain, which means citizens ought to know clearly what is prohibited by law, and it should be unambiguous. It should not be vague. Everyone should be able to understand what is wrong and what is right and differentiate the two. There shouldn't be gaps that leave uncertainty, debate, and allow for schism. Then a good legal system, number 4, should be accessible. People should easily access the law. Justice should easily be accessed. Legal representation should be easy to access. The law itself, the constitution, should be available to the people. That's what we mean by being accessible. Number 5, a good legal system should be comprehensive. That means that it should cover all possible gaps of dispute, of debate, and concerns that may arise. It should anticipate the future problems and include them in these laws so that it can create a law that does not leave gaps that may result into disputes. Lastly, a good legal system should be ethical, which means the law should be based on the moral values of a society. It should uphold those values, the positive norms of a society, and those should be reflected in the law. If laws do not reflect society's core values, then citizens are unlikely to respect and uphold it. This is basically what the Zambian legal system entails. In the next lesson, let's consider the sources of law. Thank you, and God bless you.